I'm Lynette Zang, Chief Market Analyst here at ITM Trading, a full-service physical gold and silver dealer. But really what we do is we specialize in strategies that is based upon the historic norm. And you know, I can't guarantee what's going to happen tomorrow, but quite honestly, if you have enough history of it, if it's happened before 100% of the time and it's happening again, chances are pretty good you're going to get the same result. But you know, what people don't really realize is that there is virtually no purchasing power left in the currency. And you might say to me, but Lynette, I can still take those dollars to the store and buy stuff. Well, you can, as long as the public has confidence in it. But believe me, well, I mean, over the years I've shown you anyway, that has been going away. And we are now only one confidence issue away from it. So, again, is this the recession starting? Because manufacturing PMI at 46.9%, that means contraction. Economic activity in the manufacturing sector contracted in May for the 7th consecutive month. And service activity is near stagnation. Well, that has a lot to do with slower demand. So have people worked through all of the money that they were given during 2020? And we know that the student loans are coming due again, but it's also the price gauge hits a 3-year low. So this is showing up in the inflation numbers. But let me ask you a question that I really want you to think about. Because let's presume for a moment that they jury rig all of the numbers and it makes it look like we're at a 3% or a 2% inflation number. You know that compounds. But we're already at, okay, officially 3 cents left on the dollar. What happens when we hit zero? Because it's relentless. Absolutely relentless. It's not going away. And is this the recession unfolding, or is it something that is much, much bigger? I think it's something, the next crisis that we have is going to be much, much bigger because they need to do a do-over. They need to do a reset. And they've been talking about that since 2009, as have I. They need a complete reset socially, economically, and financially. And in order to get everybody to agree, I mean the public is what I'm referring to, you need a big enough crisis to scare people into compliance. And all of this, the backdrop is happening while the Fed is attempting to normalize its balance sheet. But what I'd like you to notice is they really only have one choice, and that's dropping rates and printing money. That's the choices that they have. So let's take a look at what that looked like in the past, because at least maintaining the interest rates at an elevated level, even if the Fed does not raise them tomorrow, which they're looking for a reason to pause, but that's not really going to help inflation. That's going to speed inflation back up. So take a choice. That's why I'm saying they're between a rock and a hard place. They have been for a while. But with the Fed attempting to stop or reduce the buying of treasuries and run off its balance sheet, meaning when these treasuries mature, they simply don't replace them. So that's what you're seeing here, into an environment where the Treasury is issuing a whole bunch more debt. This could be a problem, and it could also push interest rates up just on that alone. So what do you think the Fed is likely to do when the next crisis becomes apparent? Well, this is what they did in 2008. Look at how much bigger it was in 2020. How much bigger do you think it's going to be in this next crisis? I mean, 3 times what they did in 2020? Who knows? And it's all based upon your confidence that the Fed knows what they're doing. And they don't. And they admit that they don't. But I really do think that this is why 7 in 10 central bankers expect to increase their gold holdings in the next 12 months. And we already know that central bankers on a global basis have bought more gold than they have since going back to 1967. And what was happening then? Oh yeah, we were transitioning from at least a quasi-gold-backed system into a pure debt-backed system. And a lot of people have not lived through that. That's why, quite honestly, I'm glad that I'm 68. I'm glad that I was around during, 1971, and I remember what that looked like. I remember the Vietnam War. I remember women's lib. I remember all of those, the energy crisis and civil rights movement and all of these things, which aren't we seeing that again? There are just repeatable patterns, and when you understand the patterns to look for, just makes your life a whole lot easier. Because if you listen to the talking heads on TV, their job, and the central banks and the governments, their job is to give you a false sense of security. Does that serve you well? No, it doesn't. It's education and understanding what's really happening. That's what serves you well. That's why I have the mantra: food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. Get it done.